It should be working. Yeah, it's working. All right. According to Ian Begley, some people with the Pistons wanted Kevin Knox in the Derrick Rose trade, but the New York Knicks, as of yesterday, hadn't shown interest in trading Knox. Detroit had been seeking additional compensation if Dennis Smith Jr. was included in the deal. And as of yesterday, the Knicks were not including any first rounders. According to Steve Popper, he's hearing that the pick going to Detroit in the D Rose deal will not be the pick that the Knicks acquired from Detroit during the draft, but it'll be the Knicks' own. Well, I'm sorry, it won't be the Knicks' own. It'll be the Knicks' second rounder from Charlotte. All right, the Knicks' second round pick in 2021 draft has already been sent to Philadelphia. Steve Popper also says it will not be a first round pick. Moving Dennis Smith is a plus for the Knicks and for Smith. And we'll see how Tom Thibodeau plays Rose, Payton, and Quickly all together. Again, Steve Popper is hearing that the pick going to Detroit in the D Rose deal will not be Detroit's pick in the upcoming draft that the Knicks own. It'll be the Charlotte second rounder. The Knicks second round pick for 2021 is already being sent to Philadelphia. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks are going to reacquire Derrick Rose. And we are going to see what that looks like. So let's go ahead and get with the group. Let's talk about it for a minute. Before we get to the game, let's talk about what this Derrick Rose trade might mean for certain players and what the lineups might look like. Divine, going to start with you. It is surprising to me that Derrick Rose was acquired for only Dennis Smith Jr. in the second rounder. I really, really expected that someone like Austin Rivers and Elfrid Payton would have gone in that trade. But both those players are still here. So once Derrick Rose is finally with the team, you know, when he gets acclimated and all of that stuff, who do you expect is going to lose minutes? Rivers, Quickly, or Payton?
By the way he's playing, definitely Austin Rivers. No question. He just not giving us what I thought he was going to bring to the table for us, you know, in the first 20-something games of the season. Austin Rivers is not giving us what we thought he was going to get. Granted, he's been hurt. I get all that. But, yeah, I definitely think he's gonna take him. If he's the one that's not producing, he can't take Quickly then Burks, because they are trying to produce somewhat. But Rivers is just not kicking. He's just not producing. So I think Derrick Rose going to come in there on a night like tonight. We could have used Derrick Rose. That's how important he is. Because I really think that Tom Thibodeau going with experience. You know, I mean, he's like, listen, I need an experienced guy in here who know how to play the game of basketball. And even though Austin Rivers is experienced, he just ain't got it right now. I don't know what's going on with him. So I think it's a plus that we got him. And I think he's going to definitely eat up Austin Rivers minutes if he's not producing.
Yeah. Andy, same thing? You think it's Austin Rivers?
Yeah, but for me, more important is what's going to be the closing five of these games, you know, on the court for us now. Because I feel Tibbs has confidence in Derrick Rose. So, you know, and I'm not talking about this game, because this game we saw Rivers in the fourth quarter getting minutes. You know, that might have been a little bit of a mistake by Tibbs, at least in this game. But, you know, going forward, I'm curious what's going to be the lineup at the end of the games, because this is a player that might crack the rotation of the last minutes of these games. And you know that the Knicks are not going to be blowing out teams often, so these games are going to be clutch games for the Knicks.
Yeah, it makes sense because Thibodeau knows him and he trusts him. Makes sense.
Exactly.
Steph, who do you think? Do you think Derrick Rose becomes the starting point guard?
I don't think so. It's possible, but I think for continuity's sake, I think Tibbs is going to stay with the same lineup. I also think Peyton is a better defender going against these starting point guards in this league. So I think the starting lineup will remain the same. I think he'll take Austin Rivers minutes going forward. And if he does close, I think he'll take Peyton minutes if he does, if he decides to close. If he does close, though, I could see Tibbs going with the hot hand and maybe playing even Peyton and Rose together down the stretch, whichever five is playing the best. And shout out to Taj today, man. He just stayed ready. He just stayed ready.
He stays ready. Yeah, no doubt. Isaiah, I know you're concerned about Derrick Rose being here long term. The Knicks didn't give up much for him. I don't want to say didn't give up much. You know, they gave up a player that they did not have intentions on using in Dennis Smith Jr. So I hope that Dennis Smith Jr. can go to Detroit and reclaim his career. But are you concerned? How do you feel about Derrick Rose since they did give up Dennis Smith Jr. and they are giving up some draft capital? I guess it's a second round pick. Do you feel like he's going to sign long term with the Knicks and he'll be here next season? I do. What do you think?
And Sim, just to cut into Isaiah, they made it official. Voj just picked it up. So
yeah.
There you go, Isaiah.
Thank you for interrupting me, Andy. I always appreciate you.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition, Isaiah. Somebody has to do it.
So you lucky it ain't me. You lucky it ain't me.
All right, man. All right. Because Kev keeps sending emojis in the group checks every day. But no, I mean, again, right? I mean, the only thing that's really, again, I'm not mad about what we gave up. I was extremely happy that we didn't give up the Detroit pick, because that's basically a first round pick in itself. I was happy about the Charlotte. We weren't gonna sign in the draft next year 2 second round picks, especially when we have 2 first round picks, basically 3 first round picks. If you want to be honest, we have 3 first round picks coming up in 2021. So I'm not mad about that Charlotte pick that we gave up. And you got Dennis Smith Jr. who wasn't doing. You got 15 points for 0. So you got 15 points for 0. So you really can't be mad about that. I'm actually a little shocked because, I mean, if this was what it was to give up D Rose, then I'm kind of curious why the Clippers or one of these teams or even the Boston Celtics didn't do it. But hey, listen, I love the meme that's going around. Get you a guy like Thibs that loves players like Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson. He loves those guys. This is literally his 3rd time doing this. Well, technically 2nd time if you want to count, the Timberwolves and the Knicks. That he got Taj Gibson and Derrick Rose back. I just really, like I said before, my biggest thing is that hopefully it doesn't really stop us from getting a point guard for our future that can last for 10 years. That's kind of what my goal is. That's what I want to see, is get us a point guard that's going to be there for the 10 years. I want us to have the Chris Paul or the De'Aaron Fox or the John Moran. I want one of those guys. I'm not going to lie to you. The guys that last us 10 years. But if Derrick Rose is a stopgap and can help the next guy coming in, then I'm down for it. It's going to be interesting because now we got Peyton, Elford, and Quickly. But again, I think it's most likely going to be either Austin Rivers or Peyton that's going to take the reduced minutes. And we're going to see, man. I think he can definitely help that second unit, because there's a lot I want to say about that second unit today, because it was cringe to watch today a little bit. Yeah. But we'll talk about it.
We'll get to that. Josh, do you think, looking at there's now a glut with the guards, do you think there's going to be more moves coming?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I know we were talking about Austin Rivers, but Austin Rivers did not. So the Knicks signed him approximately 2.5 months ago. And according to the CBA, he has to be on the team for a total of 90 days in order for him to get moved. So that's probably why he wasn't moved in the deal. So February 25th, he would have been eligible to be traded. So that's probably why, he wasn't involved in this trade. So the Knicks really didn't have a choice, to be honest, outside of giving up a 2nd round pick, or they could have given up Kevin Knox, which I don't think they wanted to do at this point. So that is important to note that. And I definitely think some other moves are coming. Nothing drastic, nothing that's gonna like really rattle the cages, if you will. But I do think, with Derrick Rose, it definitely improves the team on the bench. Rivers' minutes is going to get reduced. I totally believe that. People were complaining when Rivers was in the game and Bullock wasn't in the game today. So yeah, I definitely think that it's going to improve the team, and Rivers is on his way out.
All right, Kev, same question.
You listen, hold up. Before you go to Cornerstone, listen, you guys, listen, the chat, I hope y'all peeped it. Everybody, listen, he threw the hoodie on. It was off first. He waited patiently, and then he started bobbing and weaving. He's been moving around like he's been waiting patiently to get some. Some on the Cornerstone. I saw you.
Yeah, go ahead, Kev.
I'm gonna mute myself and go back.
Well, to that point, the Frank Hive is still alive. Not for long. No. I think he's going to take Rivers' minutes, and it's about darn time. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And I agree with Stephanie. I don't think he'll start, but I also can't imagine him not finishing, because if you need points, next to Randall and RJ, he's the next best person. So now you got three people capable of scoring. I only question about that also is just his defense. What's his defense like?
Right.
But other than that, yeah, I can see Rivers, not I don't know what happened to Rivers. I honestly don't, because I obviously did not really pay attention to what he was doing in the Clippers and Houston, because I thought when he came over here, I thought he was going to bring experience, and I thought that he was going to be, stable coming off the bench. And aside from those two Utah games, he really hasn't, he hasn't done anything.
Right.
So I don't. So if you slide Rose in, one more second, Sam. If you slide Rose in there, automatically you have points, significant points, coming off the bench, and it might take some pressure off Quickly as well, because in Quickly's mind, he's probably thinking that I have to score, in order for the second unit to be somewhat successful. So now that might take off a little pressure, off him and everything.
Right. So you answered. So you answered every question except for the one that I asked you.
Oh, geez.
I mean, I'm just saying you did.
In my defense, I came late, and I apologize for that. So let me hear your question again.
You were sitting right here when I asked the question. I asked Josh, "Do you think more moves are coming?" And then I asked you. I said, "Kev, same question."
Okay. All right. Yes, I do think more moves are coming. I think my boy will be moved out. Get some tissue. But other than that, yeah, I think some more moves are going to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised about anything with this management, because again, they have no ties to many of these players. The only ties they have are to the players that they brought in. So that's about it.
So what kind of moves do you foresee happening? What else? What do we need? And who's out there that the Knicks might go get to try to solidify this roster, at least going into, trying to make that move for the playoffs?
I don't know off per se. Listen, if we can get
available.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. If we can get more out of Bullock and Burks, I honestly don't believe that. I honestly believe that they'll be that's all we really need. We just need them to be consistent. That's basically what it is, because we know what RJ's going to give us. We know what Randall's going to give us. And now that Rose is going to, be with us, our point guard situation is going to be somewhat covered, providing that he's healthy as well. We also got to, think about that, because he is quote unquote injury prone. So, so I don't know. I do expect some more moves to happen. I just don't know which ones.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I wasn't asking for who, but just like what position do you think? Small forward, another shooter. What do we got to go out there and get if we're gonna make another move? What do we got to go out there and get?
Okay, I can see another shooter. You can never have. Enough shooters. Yeah, you can never have that. And maybe another playmaker. Maybe I could see that small. Again, I say that small forward position. Again, if Bullock and Burks can solidify that, be consistent, I don't think that's a problem. Probably another power forward, probably. But then again, I like the activity that Obi was doing, like in the second half. I would like them to be looking for him a little bit more. I liked what Obi was doing, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. But you can never have enough shooting. You can never have enough shooting.
Right. And Adrian Wojnarowski has made it official, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the tweet that he sent out not too long ago. It says Detroit has agreed to trade Derrick Rose to New York for Dennis Smith Jr. and a 2021 second-round pick through Charlotte. So it is official. The trade is done. Will we see Derrick Rose? When will we see Derrick Rose in a Knicks uniform? And will he play immediately? Divine, I'm coming to you first. Will he play immediately?
Oh, absolutely. I think he's going to continue the same role he had in Detroit. There's no way he coming in to sit on the bench. We wouldn't even made that trade. Derrick Rose is backing up somebody in New York. I know that much. You know what I mean? You're not going to put 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists and a couple of rebounds on the bench and don't play him. I just don't believe in that. I don't think they would have did that. So yeah, I really think Austin Rivers' numbers is they getting cut. And I just don't see them bringing him in to waste a pick and a draft pick to not play him. I just don't see them doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I definitely think he coming in. He getting his minutes. So I think Austin Rivers might as well just sit there and be like Frank and Knox right now. You're going to have to sit back there with Frank and Knox. But experience and Knox, man, you ain't playing. You ain't giving us no production. So I just think Derrick Rose got his minutes, man. I think Derrick Rose going to produce. You can't take away you can't underestimate 14 points. And Derrick Rose can give it to a lot of them cats in the NBA because they don't play defense. Derrick Rose still got a little speed to him. He's played pretty with a fast pace. He got a little bounce still left to him. So, Derrick Rose against a lot of second units in the league, Derrick Rose will handle them. So that's why I think he's going to get his minutes. Okay.
Chop, you there, Chop?
Yeah,
talk to me,
I
man.
want Mommy Steph to go. Auntie Steph?
Well, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get up there. Talk to me. Do you think Derrick Rose, comes right in and gets immediate minutes, or is they're gonna try to get him through some practices and stuff like that first? What do you think happens?
That's the next thing, because Auntie Steph said the same thing. Is he gonna go through that quarantine 14 days? Harden came.
No, I don't think it's going to be 14 days. Did he go through the 14 days?
No. Right.
No, it's not going to be 14 days.
Is he going to be available the next game when we play Miami?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Probably not. Because you got to go through, Dennis Smith Jr.'s got to go through an exam with the Pistons. Rose has to go through an exam with the Knicks. Mm-hmm. And then once both teams accept their medicals, then the trade can be consummated and then they can play. So, I guess we'll see what happens if it happens tomorrow, if they go through everything. There's not a whole lot of moving parts here. It's just one player for one player. So, I guess we could see. You never know. I do think that once he's available, I don't even know if he's going to practice a few. I see Evergreen say he's going to practice a few. I don't know. He might just throw him right out there and say, let's get it. Let's go. You know what I like. You know what I want. Get out there on the floor and let's produce. Let's work.
I'm about to say that's the perfect player to really trade is D Rose, because like you said, he's been with Tibbs for how long now? Since 2008, so it's been over 10 years. Mm-hmm. He knows Tibbs. Tibbs knows him. He knows that this is what I want you to do. He's gonna be like, okay, coach, and that's it. So
probably the same offense.
Most likely. So he's a plug-in player. You can plug him in the second unit. I don't see any reason for him to get accumulated to things. I mean, of course with the teammates, but he knows Thibs' offense better than anybody. So
right, he immediately knows what to do without any kind of conversation or
right. So, and I see somebody in the chat just said, this ain't the Derrick Rose from 10 years ago. Knicks fans be bugging. Rudy Tay said that. We're not expecting Derrick Rose from 10 years ago. We're expecting Derrick Rose from 10 days ago.
And we don't need him to be that.
Right? We're expecting Derrick Rose from 10 days ago, not 10 years ago. We know who we're getting. We get that. The man averages 15 points a game on a team that has 5 wins. It's making $7.7 million a year. We know who we're getting. We get it. We understand that. You know what I'm saying?
And Sim, but here's the thing though, right? Here's the weird thing is that when we got Derrick Rose originally, he scored 18 points. So you're telling me the play that we got when he scored 18 points, I mean, he's scoring 4 points less than when we got him? And I get he's a little older, but what do people expect? It's I don't understand that. But
no, he's an efficient and effective player. And then coming back under Thibs and the system that he knows, and he got Taj, and then all the little young pups and Julius Randle, right? He could be super effective. He's not a superstar, all-star, but he can be effective and efficient under the system, right?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Right.
Can you imagine Derrick Rose in a game like today? Experienced point guard like Derrick Rose in a game like today against Miami. We might have won that game. We might have won that game.
Yes, sir.
That's what we
shout
got to
out
understand.
to Alfredo, I think it was. He gave me the super chat. He said, we might as well bring back Noah. We still paying him, right? We are still paying him. Right. We are still paying him.
Let him sit down and work.
Right. And and there's someone in the chat, Hadouken Sharon. He said reports from Woj are that contenders could pursue Austin Rivers, and that makes sense too. Right? That a couple of contenders could say, hey, what's going on with Austin Rivers?
Yo, D,
we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens there. Yeah. Steph, I want to ask you.
Hey,
Hold up. Steph, I want to ask you, do you think that Dennis Smith Jr. can reclaim his career in Detroit? It's a fresh start for him. What do you think?
Maybe. This is the role that Dennis Smith Jr. needs is the role that Quickly has now, where you just come in and you just have the green light to just go and just play. I think under Thibs, he's trying to be the point guard. He was playing too methodical. He doesn't really have a jump shot, but he's always shooting it. So hopefully he'll have an opportunity to just play freely, not look over his shoulder. If he's going to the rack, I think he's okay. But trying to play organized ball, set up a team, he's not a point guard. Right. So I don't really think he's going to do that much better, but I hope he does because I like him, so I hope he does. I hope it does work.
Andy, what do you think?
Yeah, it's just like I said. Remember when we got him, he was basically promised the starting job, and he was, shocked that he had to compete when we got Elfrid Payton for it. So, and currently the Pistons got all their point guards injured, so he has a perfect chance to reclaim his career. It doesn't get better than that.
Right. So
it was that or Orlando. So is
he still? That was my next question. Is he still going to play in Orlando, or is he just going to go to Detroit and play?
No. I think he's, they're giving him a ticket. Instead of south, it's going to go north.
That's a good one. I like that.
There you go. Got the bags back, so
he's probably
basket and the foul.
Right. He's probably a little mad. Like, damn, I was looking forward to getting some sun, getting some warm weather. Now I got to go to where it's even colder. You know what I mean?
And he got to see the Prince too. He gonna like Prince tomato gun.
Right. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Yeah, I think that the Derrick Rose trade was a good trade. for one reason only. Down, like when we in the fourth quarter, like 5 minutes to go and everything, we need that veteran point guard, man, because that's where we get hurt at all the time.
I agree, because I agree.
And you got, say you have a Quickly and a Derrick Rose out there together, you can't double team. Who you going to double team?
Right.
So, and I do think that's where we're wrong. I think the next player I think we should go after is Andre Drummond.
Oh,
that would be the best pickup.
I think his ticket is kind of booked for Brooklyn. You know, if he gets bought out, which I think is probably going to happen by the deadline or after, I think he's on his way to Brooklyn. Yeah, they're trying to build a monster over there. So. Right. Yeah, I think he's on his way to Brooklyn. If that happens.
Hope not.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if he's over there in Brooklyn, they got a 4-headed monster, like super monster over there for real.
Yes, only one ball.
Right. But he's gonna rebound all of the balls and give it and get that thing out to Harden and KD and Kyrie and let it go. That's gonna be something crazy, bro.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
All right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. And did I call you Alfredo? I didn't mean to call you Alfredo. Maybe I must have been thinking about Freddie Gibbs, you know. Afro Jedi, I didn't mean to call you Alfredo. Thank you for the super chat. He said I feel some type of way. Let me get you another call here, then we can go ahead and get to this game a little bit. Caller, you live. What's popping?
So what are you guys' thoughts on the fact that we traded Porzingis for Derrick Rose ultimately? Because we got Dennis Smith Jr. out of it, but we already had Derrick Rose from before.
Well, it's not. We didn't ultimately trade Porzingis for Derrick Rose, right? You know, with the cap space, we also got we wouldn't have been able to get Marcus Morris if we didn't have that
Julius
cap space
Randle.
available, which turned into Emmanuel Quickly. And then, of course, we got Julius Randle with that cap space. And then we have draft picks that we'll see what they turn into. So it's much more than just that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what are your thoughts on if Dennis Smith Jr. tomorrow becomes an all-star? You know what I mean? We traded him for Porzingis because he had great potential. I mean, you're getting Derrick Rose, who's basically already reached his potential, and is more or less on his way back down.
I mean, I'll say that that's a big if. You know, I mean, he's still young and he still has a ways to go in his career. You know, I hope that he does become an all-star, right? And I hope that he does become a good player. You know, I wish nothing but the best for him. I wanted to see him do it here in New York. I just feel like there's a lot of parts to his game that are missing that'll prevent that, and he's going to be more like a six-man type of guy, or, you know, just a young guy that people recognize that can, you know, come in and get you 12 points. I still think he can get you 12 to 15 points. I don't know if he's going to become an all-star.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but the thing is that who do we look to for the future of the point guard position for the Knicks, which has been plagued for so many years?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so like we gave up. You know, if we give up Frank now, that's basically our future right there. Emmanuel Quickly is good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's proven himself to be a starting guard in this league yet. He's getting there, but I don't think he's there yet.
And neither has Frank.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, Frank hasn't shown that yet, and we still got 2 first-round draft picks. Whether or not they're in the lottery, we don't know, but we got 2 first-round draft picks coming in 2021. So, you know, we got some maneuvering to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got some
Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Take care.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Dennis Smith Jr. is going to become an all-star. You know, that's like, hey, I could also turn around and say, we got Derrick Rose. What if for this year, next year, he plays at that MVP level? Which is not going to happen. I'm just, you know, saying, you know, you could say that, who knows? But I don't think Dennis Smith Jr. is going to become an all-star. Right. Caller, you live. What's popping? And if he does, yay, good for Detroit.
God bless
him.
Yeah.
Hey, Sim, what's up, man? It's the Afro Jedi, man.
Hey, what's going on, Alfredo?
This guy Alfredo, man. I'm about to make some Alfredo Tuesday. Look, man, you ain't a chef. You ain't a chef like me. But let me talk about this basketball real quick. Look,
right.
What is our 10-man rotation right now?
Well, I'll tell you what. You can take everybody that plays normally, take Rivers out, and put Derrick Rose in. There you go. So you got the starting
All right.
five.
Now, you see, this is my problem. We've been screaming to develop our point guard all season long, right? Look, if you add Derrick Rose, that takes away from Quickly's minutes to me because we want Quickly to be our point guard, right?
Hold up. Tell me how. If Austin Rivers is out of the rotation, how does it take away from Quickly when Quickly and Rivers were playing together anyway?
All right, but this is the thing. Rivers was playing at the 2, right? With Quickly at the 1, right?
It was kind of interchanging. It seemed like
it was all right. It was interchangeable. This is my thing, right? We get D Rose. We already know that Tibbs and D Rose have a relationship. D Rose is going to take up a bulk of those point guard minutes. We've seen already that Tibbs does not want to play IQ in a bulk of minutes because he's giving Peyton a bulk of minutes, right? So where is IQ's minutes going to come from? That's my question. Because we could slide him to the 2. But then he goes behind R.J. Barrett and Alec Burke, right?
But I'm saying they're going to come from the same place they've been coming from now. Austin Rivers is likely going to be out, and Peyton's minutes might go down some, right? I think he still gets the same minutes.
I mean, look, I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan of trading for D Rose. When last time we had him over here, the pressure was too much for him, and he went AWOL on us, bro. Like, I'm just not a fan of that. I would much rather that we tried to make a move for even I heard like rumors about DeMar DeRozan. I don't even like DeRozan, but I would have rather we made a move for him than D Rose right now.
He still can.
I don't know. I think that,
yeah, we still could make a move if we wanted to.
Payton has a no trade clause in his contract, correct?
Well, it's not in his contract. It was because they waived him and then signed him back. So
we can't trade Payton, right?
Well, you can. He's just got to approve it. He's got to say, agree. You know, he's got to agree to it.
So it's basically got to be to a team that he chooses. So, like, well, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan of this trade, man. And just speaking on the game today, and then I'm going to get off this, you know, baby girl's crying. But I really like what Obi did in his little bit of minutes, man. And I'm a little shaky on him because it's like he be looking lost out there. And I see, like, there was one play where Taj got the block and they were coming back down court, and Obi had a nice alley that they could have threw up to him, but they missed him. And I see them missing Obi a lot. And I really think it's just because he looks lost out there, and then when he is in the right spots, people don't expect for him to be in those spots, and then that's why they miss him. But let me get up out of here. I just let me
say one last thing to you before you go. Man. One last thing before you go. You know who missed him on that? You know who missed him on that alley-oop?
Who was that?
Austin Rivers. You know who's going to hit him on that alley-oop?
Oh, here we go. D Rose. All right. You got it. All right.
Later.
Just like I told Kev before, everyone's mad about Derrick Rose not showing up. R.J. Barrett didn't even show up this game.
Uh-oh. So let's get into the game.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Let's get into the game.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, the Knicks lost. The Knicks lost one today, man. And we're gonna come back and talk about Derrick Rose a little bit more. I know people want to, get their 2 cents in, but let's at least get to this, and then we'll get back to Derrick Rose. First of all, the pace of the game. I didn't enjoy. I mean, I enjoyed the pace of the game, but I don't like it when the Knicks play at this pace. Right, where, I mean, even though we didn't score a lot of points, it just had the feeling that the Knicks could not continue to score at the pace that they were scoring or shoot as efficient as they were shooting along with the Miami Heat. And I felt like they was just going to hit that one moment where the Heat were going to continue to do what they're doing and the Knicks were going to hit a lull. Right, and we almost avoided it. We didn't exactly hit a lull, But I don't like playing at that. I don't know. I don't like playing those type of games where everyone's just scoring up and down, scoring all crazy. I mean, the Knicks shot 42 3-point basket shots today, and that's out of the norm for the Knicks. Right? They shot 42. They made 16. They shot 38%. They shot more than the Miami Heat. Miami Heat shot 35, and they made 13. And here's the thing. Everyone's crying for the Knicks to shoot more 3-point shots. They shot 42. They made 16. They shot 38% from 3. They shot 44.7% from the field. And still, they only scored 103 points. Right? Still, they scored 103 points. That's crazy. They were led by Julius Randle with 26 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. Played a pretty good game. Reggie Bullock, he was hot in the first half, knocking down threes. Helped the Knicks get out to a 10-point lead. Miami stormed right back, and then it was nip and tuck from there on. It was, I don't know how many lead changes they had. A bunch of lead changes, a bunch of runs all over the place. He had 21 points, 4 steals, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson had 6 points and 7 rebounds. R.J. Barrett played maybe one of the worst games that I've seen him play offensively and defensively. He was getting chewed up defensively today. Gonna have games like that, but he was getting chewed up. He had 3 points. He was 1 for 6 from the field. Elfrid Payton, he had 2 good games. He had a stinker today as far as scoring the basketball. He only had 7 points. He was 3 for 12 from the field. He did have 5 assists. Taj Gibson gave us some good minutes. He had 9 points. Alec Burks played okay. He had 13 points. Emmanuel Quickly had 5 points only today. And Austin Rivers gave us 6. And Obi Toppin, I thought he had some really good. He only played 10 minutes. Played 10 minutes, but I thought he gave us some good minutes and gave us a little bit of a boost in that fourth quarter, that we needed to help, tie the game. And maybe the Knicks are going to start seeing, the players are going to start seeing some things that he does, and understanding how to use him a little bit better in that second unit. So all that we can hope for. But the Knicks dropped one today to the Miami Heat. Again, they shot 38% from the 3-point line, 44.7% from the field. They had 23 assists. They kept turnovers down to 12 turnovers. It's just one of those games where Miami just had a little bit more than the Knicks had, and we couldn't pull it out. You know what I mean? We couldn't pull this one out. Good game. I'm not excited that we have to play them again, in Miami now. That's what, the reason why we really wanted to get this game. Divine, how'd you feel about this one?
I enjoyed the game. I felt like it was a playoff intensity game. It felt like a playoff game. They was going at it, and I like to see the fight in the Knicks because I'm like, okay, Miami got up to like 7-8 lead. Knicks like, nah, we about to go, nah, you ain't taking it away from us. I just love the battle today, man. I just think that tells me something. Now I hope everybody see why Tom Thibodeau at the end goes with his experienced guys. Because if there was an experienced guy in there, they might would have blew that game open. But Julius Randle is the real deal, man. Get what you heard. He might have every now and then 1 or 2 boneheaded plays on defense where he loses man. He the real deal. Big up Taj Gibson. Big up Reggie Bullock. And they had some good games today, man. And I just think the Knicks battle. That's what I want to see. We should have won that game, but I do like the fact that the Knicks is playoff ready almost. They if they get in that bubble, to fight Miami the way they did they play like a playoff team today, and they can get in a series with anybody, and I think they can handle their business down the line. But I it's a loss, man. But at RJ, you can't give me 3 points, man. I love you, brother, but you cannot give us 3 points. You just can't do that. You know what I mean? If you want to give us 10 and 3 rebounds and maybe 3 assists on a bad day, I'll take that, but not 3 points though. So maybe fatigue set in. A young man like that too, or even Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson fatigue starting to set in. You know what I mean? He never played these many minutes. He's not jumping like he used to. He's battling, but he's not jumping. Because I just think a lot of plays, he should have had like 4 blocks a day. But I noticed the last couple of games, he's not really, his energy, he could be the fatigue too, because he never played like this in his life neither. So it's showing on a young boy. But, I said I'll take the loss because we battled. And I just think that, like Albert Payton don't get them 10 points, we won't win. Basically that's what the stats tell us. If Albert Payton don't have a good game, Knicks don't win. And like I said, RJ, him and Rivers today, I wish they could have gave us a little more. We might would have pulled that out.
Yeah. Josh, I know you want to get in and talk about RJ.
I mean, look. I mean, I'm not even going to go off about the 3 points. I don't even care about the 3 points. RJ Barrett shot the ball 6 times. That can't happen. RJ Barrett didn't take 1 free throw. That can't happen. That's why I'm getting on RJ specifically for this game, because in order for the Knicks to be successful, there has to be someone else outside of Julius Randle to have that ball in his hands. And 6 shots and getting to the line 0 times, that is not going to cut it for this current Knicks team. I understand he will get better. He will become more consistent, over the years. And next year he's going to elevate to being an all-star. I get all of that. But taking 1 shot in the first half or 2 shots, whatever it was, and taking 6 shots overall, that's just not going to cut it. And, I think that's the reason why we lost this game, to be honest. I mean, we're not going to get this output from Reggie Bullock every night. Julius Randle's going to, he's going to, do his thing almost every single night. But there needs to be someone else outside of Randle to be able to score that the Knicks can depend on when the game is, on the line. And Thibodeau didn't even go to RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett wasn't even on the floor.
Yeah,
exactly. So
he
I mean,
in the 4th. Yeah.
Right, because he wasn't playing aggressive. So RJ Barrett, this Knicks team right now needs you to step up, and he's been doing that. But again, 6 shots and not getting to the line at all, 0 is not going to cut it.
Now, one thing though I will say is they were sending a lot of traps at our guards. Anyone who had the ball up top, they were trapping them, and that's something new that he probably saw. I mean, if you look at any of our guards, none of our guards that handle the ball a lot did anything. RJ Barrett, 3 points. Elfrid Payton, 7 points. Emmanuel Quickley, 5 points. Austin Rivers, 6 points. Right? Because those traps were coming at those guys, get the ball out of their hands, and make somebody else do something. I think that was a big part of it. And when you look at the Austin Rivers, 5 attempts. Emmanuel Quickley, 4 attempts. Elfrid Payton had 12 attempts. RJ Barrett, 6 attempts. They were getting the ball out of those guys' hands for a reason. Now, I'm not saying that RJ Barrett doesn't have to find other ways to score, but right now, the main way that he scores is by getting the ball off of a handoff and then finding his spot. Well, guess what? When they hand the ball off to him, they were sending a trap. He got to get the ball out of his hands.
Well, Sim, guess what? He had 0 assists tonight, too. So, I mean,
I get it.
But he's passing it out, though. But if the next person doesn't shoot it and make it, then he's not going to get the assist.
He's passing it and getting it into the middle to Taj or to Mitch or to whoever's in the middle, and then they're kicking it out to try to find an open shooter, right? Because now there's, it leaves somebody open because they were sending a trap. I mean, that's kind of outside of Elfrid Payton. Quickley had 3 assists. Austin Rivers had 3 assists. Right. And, I get it. RJ Barrett didn't have any assists, but part of it was scheme, I think. I would have liked to see him take more shots too, or find ways to get his shots. But we don't actually have things set up just to say, okay, you know what? We're going to post RJ. We're going to run a play to post RJ to get him the ball in this spot or that spot. With RJ, it's more he gets the ball off that handoff. Every once in a while, they might get him in isolation, but it's more he's getting the ball off the handoff and then penetrating to the basket. So some of that I think was defensive scheme.
I just think RJ wasn't aggressive at all tonight or today. I just don't think he was aggressive. Not getting to the line, only taking 6 shots. To me, I mean, yeah, it is a scheme thing, but again, 3 points.
He's not somebody that's going to force it anyway. He plays within the confines of the offense. He's not somebody like a Randle going to take the ball, going to force his shot. That's not how he plays.
I'm not asking him to do that, Steph. What I'm saying is the Knicks are not going to win any games if RJ Barrett does not shoot the basketball.
I totally
Period.
Well, but you know what? Let's go back and look at the game and see if he had opportunities to shoot that he didn't take. There was no opportunities to shoot unless he was going to force it.
We'll
go back and look at the game and see. Yeah. Unless he was going to force it, they trapped him. You got to pass the ball.
Yeah, I mean, they were sending them traps, man. They were sending traps at our guards. And, I mean, we were still in it. It's something for the Knicks to learn from. Something for them to learn from them. And I'll be interested to see when they come back how they adjust to that.
What's the answer? Yes.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, so I'm going to say, I mean, of course, I will agree with Josh with this. I mean, RJ can have 3 points. But again, right, we're talking about a kid that has literally been, this last, 2 months, hasn't really had a bad game for the most part. He hasn't had a bad game. He's been doing it more than just scoring. He's been doing it on all ends of the floor. He's going to have these games, man. I'm not worried about it. I'm really, really not. Again, right, if you watch the game, they were definitely trapping him. And again, the Miami Heat have good perimeter players. They have always Iguodala, one of the best defenders, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, who can guard literally 1 through 5. They were trapping, man, and sometimes it's hard. RJ, Sim said it. I think Sim said it best earlier, man. RJ didn't find his sweet spot today, and he's not to the level yet where he's definitely still thinking. Like Sim said, he's thinking, and he's thinking to get to the spots. So it's not second nature yet to just go to the spots and just do it willingly. He's learning. And yes, I'm going to say he's 20 because he is 20. And he'll be fine. Listen, I'm going to tell you what. I'm not going to do a prediction of points, but I know RJ will play better the second game. You don't think right now he's frustrated, he's pissed off, that he's not looking at film with Coach Payne or Mike Woodson, and he's not shooting up shots right now as we speak while we're doing the show?
Isaiah, what about him on defense tonight? Because he was awful.
He got smacked on defense. He got killed on defense. He got killed on defense.
I just feel like every time RJ Barrett has a bad game, we make up these excuses. Oh, the other team has too many guys in the paint.
But I think every time you have a bad game, you're ready to pounce on him. This is his second year. You can go back to any player, Shaq, LeBron, Magic, in their second year, there's going to be games where they just did not show up at all. Offensively, defensively, it's going to happen. I don't think it's a big deal, but I think you make it such a big deal every time it happens, Josh. It's going to but you know what? They need him, but they're not going to get him consistently because this is his second year. Period. It's not going to happen. It's not.
But John, tell me this though, right? Tell me this though, right? So before this game, RJ was averaging pretty much 20 points, right?
Yes.
We still lost. So what can you say?
I'm just saying, in order for the Knicks to be competitive and to take that next step, and for RJ, he can't shoot the ball 6 times. No, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, I know, but normally
they trapped him.
But what I'm saying, but Josh, it's not like there's been 6 games in a row he's only shot it 6 times.
I understand that, yeah.
Right? This is as a matter of fact, this is probably the lowest output of shooting that he's had the entire season. He's been shooting double-digit attempts the entire season. This has to be the lowest. And a lot of it is because they took the ball out of his hands by sending a trap, and he had to make another play. Right? And so what has to happen, they've got to go back and say, okay, how do we fix this? How do we change this? It's not like every night he's only shooting the ball 6 times.
I understand that, and I wasn't saying that at all. I'm just saying, in order for the Knicks to be successful this season, and we're talking all this playoff talk, being in the 6th spot, RJ Barrett can't take 6. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think it's only on RJ though.
Right. But my question to you is, why bring it up? Why not wait until it's a trend? Because he can come out and shoot 18 shots tomorrow. Why not wait until it's a trend to say RJ can't only shoot 6 shots?
Well, we're talking about the reason why the Knicks lost the game. That's the reason why we lost the game.
No, that's not the reason why we lost.
I don't think that's the reason. We had a lead. We had a lead in the fourth quarter or at least it was tied in the fourth quarter.
But that was because Reggie Bullock was shooting crazy. We're not going to get that every night from Reggie Bullock. But what I'm saying is RJ Barrett needs to be, in order for the Knicks to be successful, RJ Barrett has to be that second catalyst. That's all I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is...
But we disagree.
Right, but you said tonight...
I disagree.
You said we lost tonight because he didn't shoot enough. But we had a lead without him in the game that we could have defensively where we gave up a lot of, there was a lot of holes. Even when he wasn't in the game, we had a lead. I mean, we were tied in the fourth quarter. We easily could have won that game without RJ having, however many points. Tonight, I agree with you. In the future, we need RJ to be able to score points. I agree with you. But I'm just saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Can we at least let it be a trend before we start saying he can only, he can't, we can't have him only shooting 6 shots every night, because it's not like that every night. Can it at least be a trend?
Josh, he wasn't the reason. Excuse me, Sim. He wasn't the reason we lost. He was part of the reason. He wasn't the only reason. He was part of the reason we lost. But he wasn't the reason why we lost, because you can easily put that in a lot of places, man. Like Sim said, on our defense, you can put that on Austin Rivers too. You know what I mean? You can put that on Alfred Payton too. Alfred Payton had 20 last night, had 7 tonight. Yeah, you can put that on a lot of people. But RJ had a bad game, but he wasn't the reason why we lost a basketball game for sure. That's no doubt about that. That's crazy. So, he just had a bad game, man. That's, but he got to step up in the moments, and he will. But I hate the reason why we lost that game today. I know that much.
I'm gonna let Cornerstone get his piece in here, right? And then we can come back and talk about Derrick Rose. So I want to make a point. Go ahead, Cornerstone. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. The clock is ticking.
I think I've agreed with Josh. This is probably the 5th time I've agreed with Josh out of all these times.
25
he is totally
seconds.
Right. When you have Batman and Robin has always comes. Dad, 25, 20, probably 20 seconds now.
Yeah, 20 seconds.
Whenever Batman can't get it done, Robin comes in. Even when the game is late. RJ was not that dude today. He was getting beat by Robinson. He was getting beat by Hero. And usually when I see, and we've seen we've seen RJ get his points, literally, when nobody can't get it. All right? He didn't take it in. He didn't do nothing. All right? I totally agree with Josh. He didn't show up. And I don't care
what
we're
not saying show up. But nobody is arguing that.
Nobody's arguing that.
5 seconds. All right? I still have 5 seconds. I still have 5 seconds. Now 4. He didn't get it done tonight. That's all I got to say.
I agree.
I mean, that's not. We wasn't arguing that he didn't get it done. We know he didn't get it done.
It's just, what does that mean? That's the question.
We wasn't arguing
that. He deserves that smoke tonight. He does deserve that smoke tonight. Now, come Tuesday, let's see how he adjusts to that. But he deserved that smoke today.
All right.
For them to be successful, if Randall's your number 1 and he's your number 2, he deserves that smoke tonight.
That's all I'm saying. That's
the Knicks need another number 2. The Knicks need another number 2. RJ is in his second year. They need another number 2.
We have already established that he's the number 2. We established that he's the number 1 and he's the number 2.
But you're in a number 2 didn't show up. Number 2 didn't show up. He did not. I agree. The question is, what does that mean?
Whenever you have it,
go ahead, I'm sorry. Your number 2 is a second-year player. That's the problem.
Right.
So it's the roster.
That's the problem.
So it's a roster issue.
It's a roster issue.
It's not even an issue. It's not even an issue. You know what? Next man up.
Hey, Kev. Hey, when Jordan wasn't going right, Scotty stepped in. When Shaq wasn't going right, Kobe showed up.
Hold up.
When LeBron isn't going right.
No. Stop right there. Stop right there. Because Scottie Pippen has had nights where he did not show up.
Right.
Scottie Pippen had plenty of those nights where he did not show up. Patrick Ewing had a 1-point game.
And the Knicks lost. Just like the Bulls lost.
But what I'm saying is, but that's not the entirety of his career.
I'm not saying that's going to be the entirety of his career.
What we're saying is it happens. It happens. It happens.
No, we agree.
It happens.
We agree. He did not.
But that's not the reason why they lost, dude.
Hey, Josh, I'm not agreeing with you no more.
Basketball is a team sport.
Yeah.
Basketball is a team
No,
sport.
we agree with Josh on that point. He didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
When I was texting, I said, darn. I said other words, but anyway, I said RJ's getting burned by Harrell and Robinson. And what did Isaiah say? Let me tell you what Isaiah said. All right.
I can tell you what I said.
Yeah, go ahead. What'd you say?
Bro,
What'd you say?
It happened.
Real quick, because I want to get back to Derrick Rose. Real quick. Go ahead, Isaiah. Quick.
Bro, but no, seriously, Tim. This is what's killing me with Knicks fans. And I'm coming at you, Kev, because yo, when he was averaging 18, when he was having shooting splits of 50, 40, 80, y'all weren't saying anything. He has one game, which we all know he didn't have a good game. And y'all go back to
needed. He was needed.
Okay.
Especially in a close game.
Let him finish.
But I swear I'm not joking when I say this is what's toxic about Knicks fans, bro. Y'all weren't complaining. Hold on, Kev. Y'all weren't complaining when he had those shooting splits, when he was giving you 20 points. You weren't complaining.
What was there to complain about?
Because he was coming. There was nothing to complain about. Yeah.
But he has one bad game. And I just y'all revert back to going harder than bro. It's okay. He'll be fine. All right.
Let's move on from it. We're gonna move on from that.
Josh.
Get into something else. Chop. Go ahead, Chop. I wanted to get Chop in there. Chop was trying to say something. Go ahead, man.
I don't know. I just came back. I've been trying to get back in. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Oh, they going crazy, going crazy about
Isaiah,
RJ
you
Barrett.
gotta relax. I saw Kev in the beginning. Isaiah, listen, he threw the hoodie on because everybody. Josh was talking. He threw the hoodie on, and in my mind, I thought about doom. He wanted to get in. I know he had something to.
Yeah. But listen, if you're just joining us, the first lady, God bless you, mommy.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Auntie Steph, we love you.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, you probably know by now that the New York Knicks have acquired Derrick Rose in trade. Woj made it official. This is a tweet from Adrian Wojnarowski. Detroit has agreed to trade guard Derrick Rose to the New York Knicks for Dennis Smith Jr. and a 2021 second-round pick through Charlotte. All right, just a little bit more information about the trade and some of the discussions that took place. The Detroit Pistons, it seems as though they were really interested in Kevin Knox, where, a lot of our people say that Kevin Knox is garbage and they want to throw him away. They want to trade him. Well, guess what? The Knicks were reluctant and did not want to trade Kevin Knox. All right. Some with the Pistons wanted Kevin Knox in the Derrick Rose trade. But as of yesterday, the Knicks had not shown interest in trading Kevin Knox. Detroit had been seeking additional compensation if Dennis Smith Jr. was the player in the deal. And the New York Knicks, as of yesterday, was not including any first rounders. It's going to be a second rounder, that 2021 Charlotte second rounder, going to the Detroit Pistons for Derrick Rose. He's coming back to the Knicks. And there's a lot of people that say, they keep saying, Derrick Rose is with the Knicks. He went AWOL, blah, 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 blah. And to them, I say this. That was a different time, a different Derrick Rose. At that point, listen, Derrick Rose is kind of an introvert type of guy, right? Stays to himself. He's got some other things out. He's got some other things that he's doing. We all know, the case that he had against him, right? But for the most part, he stays to himself. He's from Chicago. He had never left Chicago, like living outside of Chicago, but, outside of traveling with his basketball team. And he was dealing with a little bit of anxiety. He had a court case going on. He had a lot of things happening. He was dealing with some anxiety. He went back to Chicago. If you pay attention, you notice Derrick Rose, any team that he signed with was within so many hours of Chicago because he wanted to be home near his family, wanted to be able to get home when he needed to get home. Who knows what's going on personally with his family. When he came to New York, to Derrick Rose, he was probably a lone stranger out there. There's nobody that he really knew, no one that he was comfortable with. It's different this time.
Right.
It's different this time. This time, he's been away from Chicago now. He's been to Minnesota. He's been to Detroit. He's been in New York before, which is probably the reason why he's agreed to come back to New York. Not only has he been to New York and played in New York and lived in New York, but now he's got Tom Thibodeau there. He's got Taj Gibson there. That eases some of the anxiety for Derrick Rose. So people ask, why would Derrick Rose how come the Clippers didn't try to get him? Or this team or that team that's a championship contender? Because Derrick Rose did not want to go to those teams. He wants to go to a place where he's comfortable. And that's the New York Knicks. So I'm not worried about what happened before. I just, I look at that situation and look at, who Derrick Rose is. And when you look at it now and the things that we know now, that was set up to fail. As far as Derrick Rose leaving Chicago. The first time he ever leaves Chicago and he's coming to New York, with certain expectations and bad management and all of that stuff. This is different, I think, for Derrick Rose coming back to New York, coming back to the Knicks, and I think that he's grown, he's a little bit more mature, and I think he's going to be all right. Now, is it going to be something that's long term? We'll find out. We'll see. But in long term, meaning he's here for a couple of years. He's 32 years old, so he's still got some time in the league. He could still be in the league another four years or something like that. So we'll see how it works out. But I wouldn't worry too much about what happened last time. I just think there was so many circumstances around him coming to the Knicks last time. It led to what we saw from him. Andy, what do you think about that?
I totally agree with you. And we got to remember that Thibs is a huge factor here. He's the most important guy for D Rose at this point. So, and even if he would need a break from the league just to go home and stuff like that, I think this Knicks management can cover it up with any kind of PR thing that's going to make it look good. It's not going to be, a slip of like last time, right? So, I think we're going to be fine. As long as he's not going to get injured, I think we're going to be fine with him. And like we said before, for the deal was really good because we basically didn't give up much from us as long as DSJ, because he wasn't getting minutes. So I think it's a win-win situation for both teams, actually.
Yeah.
Even DSJ. So
yeah. And real quick, couple of super chats. Thank you to Elite Yimmy 7, I guess. It said RJ leader in the TPA stat deserves no excuses. Josh is right. The TPA stat measures how meaningful you are with your minutes. His stats are meaningless. Okay, so I'm really not understanding what you're saying. Josh is saying that we need him to put up stats. You said his stats are meaningless, so you lost me there. I appreciate the super chat, but you lost me there. And let me get to Mighty Knicks. He said, great, another non-shooter in a shooter's league. Let's get DeFrozen next, saying DeRozan. Talking about Derrick Rose. I mean, listen, he may not be a shooter, but we have some guys that can shoot the basketball. We're shooting about, what's league average in the NBA for shooting threes? I mean, we just shot 40-something% tonight from the three-point line, didn't we? 38%. We shot 38%. I don't know what the league average is, but we're about near that league average in shooting the three ball. We don't shoot a lot of them. We don't shoot them in volume. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, back to we're talking about Derrick Rose. Steph, I mean, do you think it's going to be different this time with Derrick Rose in New York and with the way it was last time?
Yeah, because I think his role is different. I think the first time around, he was counted on to be a main piece in what we was trying to do. And now, he's going to, I think, be coming off the bench. I think that if he's not playing well, I think he will go to the bench. I think we have other options. I don't think we're going to be as dependent on him this time like we were the first time around.
Right. I definitely agree. And then also with the first time around, people talk about, the triangle and the fact that Jeff Hornacek and Phil Jackson had him in a triangle. I mean, I'm pretty sure Derrick Rose is, he's ran some triangle, maybe not as much, but he ran some triangle with Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau likes to do some triangle actions, but he can also use Derrick Rose. He knows how to use Derrick Rose in a multitude of ways. I'm not expecting Derrick Rose to have this huge resurgence, but I do remember when he went to Minnesota with Tom Thibodeau, he was playing well, right? He was playing well. Eru, talk to me, man. How you feel about the trade? Do you think it's going to be different this time around with Derrick Rose compared to the first time he was here?
Well, first of all, shout out to everybody, man. I haven't seen you guys on the show in a while, man. Good to see you guys. Yeah, man. So, as far as the Knicks, we just need to tighten up. So, his role, I was talking about him actually starting over Elfrid, but, now, you got time to process it a little bit. I just feel like you guys were mentioning this guy, Austin Rivers. That's definitely a spot I could see Rose in. You got to get Rivers out of there because we just need to be more decisive in the things that we do. A lot of times Rivers comes out there and he's just kind of just walking around nonchalant. He'll get into the paint, turn around and kick it out somewhere. He has open shots. He's passing it up. We need to get him out of there. Some of these other guys too that are not being aggressive and just being decisive in the movements that they make. We all know Derrick Rose when he's going to make a move, he's going to make a move, and that's what we need. We need guys to like really build up this bully ball that we've been playing with Julius Randle and even RJ, even though RJ had a bad game today. But we just need to continue to build up this persona that we're trying to build up. And I think getting Derrick Rose in the manner in which we did, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Now, do you think he is going to? You think he's going to start, come off the bench? Eru.
Well, I think right now just they're gonna have to make somebody make that sacrifice. I think we're all in agreement. Austin Rivers has to be the guy to get out of here, man. He stick Derrick Rose in that spot, and that checks a lot of boxes off for what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I want to take a minute and listen to Coach Thibodeau. I doubt he's going to say anything about Derrick Rose, but I'm pretty sure they're going to ask the question. All right, so, let's take a listen to Coach Thibodeau, see what he said about the game, and see if he mentions anything about Derrick Rose. Pretty sure they're going to ask the question, but I doubt he's going to answer it.
Hey, everyone, we have Coach here. If you have a question, please raise your hand and I'll bring you into the room. First question comes from Rebecca Harlow.
Coach, your team fought hard down the stretch, defended and all of that, but how much of it in your mind comes down to experience when you're going up against Eastern Conference champions, a guy like Jimmy Butler? And in those last 2 minutes, what would you change?
Well, we never got established defensively from the start of the game, so we knew it would be an energy game. They're a different team, obviously, when Jimmy plays, and so offensively, I liked us, particularly in the first half. But defensively, we got to be a lot better. There were several possessions in which we had pretty good defense, but we didn't finish our defense. And against a team like that, they're going to keep moving, and you got to make sure that you play it throughout the clock, and you got to finish it with the shot challenge and the rebound. And we didn't do that, and that's what you need to do.
Amanda Hajar, Next Digital.
Hey, Coach, can you speak a little bit about Taj on and off the court, how he's kind of stepped in here, especially in Nerlens' absence, and what he gives you as a leader and as a veteran on the team?
Just great veteran leadership, a lot, total winner, team first guy, willing to sacrifice, help in any way he can, whether it's just being vocal in practice, really working hard in practice, being early, staying late, then being ready to play. Whenever he's called upon, he's ready to go. I thought he played really well, and When Nerlens is back, he'll be ready in whatever role we ask him to play, and that's always been the beauty of him. Even early on in his career, you could start him, you could bring him off the bench, whatever the team needed, he would provide. Great teammate, very coachable, great leader.
Mark Berman, New York Post.
What did you see from RJ Barrett today? Obviously, you didn't feel comfortable playing him in the fourth.
And again, I just felt we got behind early, and then trying to, come back and just search and trying to find energy. And so that's why we did what we did. But obviously, I'm very pleased with RJ overall. And so we'll take a look at the film, make our corrections, and be ready for the next one.
Ryan Mahoney, AP.
Tom, you had the game tied with about 5 minutes left, and then things kind of dried up there for a little while. Is that just a situation where they have a guy in it, Jimmy, who can make plays, passing, shooting, whatever, whereas you guys don't quite have that yet?
Well, I mean, and you got to give them credit. And it's not just Jimmy. They have Bam as well, and they have great shooting around them. But you got to make plays down the stretch. And you got to understand the fourth quarter is different. The intensity is different. Decision making is different. The officials will allow more to go on in terms of physicality, and so we have to understand that part of it. And sometimes you have to be willing to give yourself up for the team, whether that be a cut, a screen, setting up the screen. You can't shortcut things, and so they did a good job down the stretch, and we fell short.
Amanda Hajar, Knicks Digital.
Coach, what have you seen from Obi? It seems like over the last few games, with every game, he gains a little bit more confidence offensively and defensively. What have you seen from him on the floor and in practice as well?
Yeah, just, as I mentioned the other day, he's working really hard in practice. He's studying. He's playing hard. I think he's learning. He's going through a learning process right now. But his attitude has been very upbeat, and he'll continue to get better. Just put everything you have into each and every day. I thought he gave us some good minutes today.
Rebecca Harlow.
And Coach, I was actually going to ask you that same thing. I mean, he gave you some nice minutes in the beginning of that fourth quarter there, had about 7 points or something like that. What is it that he needs to learn, or what do you want to see from him in order for him to play more minutes in late game scenarios?
It's just, overall, it's every phase of the game. So you have to know not only your individual matchup, but the team matchup, what your team responsibilities are. And also the team has to function well when you're on the floor. And so if one guy's not seeing anything, that could cause, the whole group to not function well. So it's not just Obi, it's Obi and the group that he's with. And so it's never an individual thing. And then, of course, when he goes into the game with that group, they have to protect the lead or build the lead. They can't lose leads. And so we can't lose ground. We expect, it's based on performance. When you play well, you play more.
Jeff Bondi, Daily News.
Wow.
Hey, Tom, 2 questions. One is, how do you think your team responded to Miami's traps and blitzes? It seemed like they picked up the intensity in the second half. And then second question is, as you guys look to expand the roster, how secure is Manuel Quickley's spot in the rotation?
In terms of the blitz, we felt like that's what they would do. And so I want to look at the film. I thought we had some really good looks at some threes. I want to take as I mentioned, to watch it to make sure that I saw it correctly. And we'll have to make some adjustments. But overall, I was pleased with that. And in terms of the roster, that's a Leon question, and I'm not commenting on any rumors or anything like that.
Mike Workman, The Athletic.
Tom, it's funny. I was going to actually ask you what you could say about the reports of a Derrick Rose trade with you, but if it's a no comment from you, do you feel like you need help in the backcourt on this team with the roster as presently constructed?
Well, I'm focused on the guys that we have here. So, Leon, Wes, Scott, they're constantly looking at the opportunities and who's available and thinking about upgrading the roster whenever they can. And, whether it happens or not, oftentimes those things get talked about and leaked and, and they don't happen. So I focus on who we have and who we're playing next. And that's where that lies.
Hey, everyone. Taj.
Look, so I'm looking at the video. Normally, Tom Thibodeau looks mad. He didn't even look mad about the game. He's excited that Rose is on the way. He didn't even look mad about the way. So, at this point he had to know that it's done, that it's a done deal. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure he's excited about it. I like some of the things he said about Obi when they asked about, Obi's production and stuff like that. And he's right. That second unit, they got to figure out a way to get Obi in there. There's a video on Twitter, showing him pointing, trying to get Austin Rivers to throw that oop. Derrick Rose in that second unit, I think will be able to help Obi. Help Obi get into the flow of what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely excited about seeing that. Now, I'm assuming that he's going to be in the second unit. And maybe he does end up being a starter, because I do recall Tom Thibodeau saying that he wants to see what it looks like having Elfrid Payton and Quickly play together. And maybe he wanted to see what it looks like playing together because he knew that Derrick Rose was going to be on the way. So he wants to get those two guys, working together. We haven't had a chance to see it much, but we'll see. Isaiah, go ahead.
Oh, man. Sorry, Kev. Next time, baby. So, Sim, man, the second unit, Sim, I'm hoping D Rose can fix it, man, because I get so frustrated with the second unit, man. Oh, shout out to Yo, man. It's good to see you again, brother. Shout out to Yo, bro. Good to see you, man. It's really frustrating, man, seeing the second unit with Austin Rivers, Quickly, and Burks, man, because it's really too much me in that second unit, man, and not enough team. It's like so frustrating because this is like, I'm serious, and this is like the fourth game in a row. I'm watching Obi run. He's open. It's a thing. I know what you're talking about, because he's literally like this, the oop. And it's like, and it's every time, I swear, it's so weird. Every time I see Obi open, Austin Rivers always has the ball in his hand when Obi's open.
And that's the truth. It is true. It's definitely true.
Every time Obi's open every time. I don't know if Obi trying to talk to his girl. I don't know if he say something about Doc, because Lord have mercy. This Austin Rivers, man, what happened to the high school Austin Rivers that was doing his thing with the point, man? But it's like there's no cohesiveness in that unit, man. It's just all these guys we're just expecting Quickly to be high and Austin Rivers to face Utah Jazz and Burks to hit his shots. It's like we don't have anything going on, and I hope D Rose can bring that, because we just need a point guard in that second unit to get everybody in position, to get these guys running, to get these guys in a position where they can just score and move the ball. Because right now, this second unit is costing us games, because the first unit can do their thing, we get a big lead, and then the second unit, if no one's hitting shots and everybody just working is looking for me, then we just losing leads, and we're hoping guys can be hot. That's the thing that's getting me more mad, and is that we're hoping guys can get hot versus us moving the ball, moving the bodies and getting open easy shot. The only one that's really doing that is Obi Toppin, and they're looking them off. And it's like, it's just really frustrating, that second unit, man. It's just too much eye, man. We need some team in there. And I really do believe D Rose can do that better. I'm not going to say he can fully do that, because even D Rose has his issues, and he's kind of, sometimes when he gets going, he can be a me player too, because, he needs the ball in his hands a lot. So it's going to be interesting, man. That's why again, I'm so harping on us drafting a point guard, a real point guard, so that we can get the stuff moving. But, again, hopefully D Rose comes out second unit and does what he has to do. Please go to Andy so Kev can get pissed off more.
Nah, I'm gonna go ahead, Kev.
Chump. All right. Sim, why do you think what do you think Rose will help out Obi more than what we've seen what we've seen out of everybody else on that second on that second team on the bench?
I just think Derrick Rose is going to be more decisive with what he's doing out there on the floor. You see Austin Rivers dribble around, not knowing when to shoot it. He had an open shot today. He didn't shoot it and ended up trying to, I don't know, pass it to someone and whatever. He just doesn't seem decisive at all.
Okay, so what Isaiah just said about when Obi was, yelling for the ball, do you think Rose will get the ball to him?
It was a wide open alley-oop. Yes, I think he throws the alley-oop to him.
Okay. All right. That's all I want.
I think he throws the alley-oop to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isaiah, I'm gonna cut your beard off. Bro.
Yeah, I got two fast questions, Sim. First, I see already fans worrying about when D Rose comes, what's gonna happen to IQ's minutes. That's one thing, and a totally separate thing. How we were talking that we at least need one of RJ or Julius on the court to be the playmaking guy. You think Derrick Rose can fit the third guy on that squad? That's why we got him.
Yeah, I think so. Derrick Rose can go hard to the basket. His pull-up game is mean, and so that's going to make people collapse. And he kick that ball out and get it to other people. You know what I'm saying? He's just another threat that you really have to worry about, like you have to fear. People not worried about Austin Rivers. He might have a hot quarter, he might have a hot game, but they're not worried about him like that. They're not worried about Elfrid Payton like that either. But, Tibbs has his reasons for having Elfrid Payton in that lineup. Teams will worry about Derrick Rose. You know what I mean? And you seen today how they were sending those traps in that not just the second unit, but they were trying to trap all of our guards.
Yeah.
Right? Derrick Rose knows how to handle that trap because he's seen it before. Quickly hasn't really seen it before. Alec Burks is not, he can't handle the trap. Clearly, Austin Rivers can't. Austin Rivers has seen it before, but he can't handle the trap. Derrick Rose can handle that. You know what I mean? And if Elfrid Payton's not doing a good job handling it, if you have some kind of scheme like that, you could throw Derrick Rose in there, and he's going to be able to handle it. You know what I mean? So,
I think that trap, like Eru was saying, you got to be quick. You got to move the ball really quick to get the open shot because two people on one, somebody is open. But we would just find the person, that person would hold it for 2 seconds. By that time, their defense was able to reset.
Right. So, I think he's going to bring a lot to this team, man. And look, he's 32. We were talking about bringing in a Mike Conley. He's about 32 years old, 31, 32 years old. Derrick Rose is 32 years old. I'm not saying that he's young, but, he still can be pretty productive in this league, I think. I think,
And cheap.
He's like a Mitchell Roberts to me. For the amount of money you're paying him, production is phenomenal. You give Derrick Rose $7 million, he doubling that in points. That's $14 million for some. For 14 points, I'm making $7 million, and he got experience. He could ball. He ain't scared. When Derrick Rose go in that hole, he ain't scared. You know what I mean? Either you're going to foul him, he going to make it, or he going to dish it out. So you can't go wrong with him, Sam. The experience alone, just the experience. I'm more happy about the experience that he's bringing to the team because other than Tobbs Gibson and maybe Reggie Bullock, a true veteran. Derrick Rose is a true veteran. He's not a 4-year veteran, a 5-year veteran. No, he's a true veteran who's been in awards. He done went up against some of the thoroughest cats in the game. When he played for him, he was averaging 18 a game. Am I correct with the Knicks?
Yeah. Yep,
He
he averaged 18 a
four,
game.
Yeah, and he averaged 14 now. So even in his later career, he's still getting double points and scoring. Derrick Rose is going to make our team better, but believe it or not, I just think that he's going to help when he get in there with quickly 3-point percentage is going to go up because all the pressure ain't going to be on him. Alex Burks going to be able to get over because if Derrick Rose comes down that lane and you double team him, he got them cats on the perimeter and he got Noel to throw a lob to or Taj or whatever. So I think it's going to make a huge difference because he's not scared to get in there. You know, I think he's not scared, dude, man, and that's what we need. So I think it's going to be fine. I'm really excited about it myself.
I agree with Divine. I think he has most minutes on. He's going to have most minutes on this team. I mean, like clutch minutes played and shots and clutch time taken, right? He might have lost games with those shots. He might have won. But, you know, I think he's going to be fearless when it's going to be the time to take that shot.
Yeah. Let me ask, how many minutes was he playing in Minnesota with Tom Thibodeau as the coach? How many minutes was he getting per game?
I don't remember Minnesota. I think in Detroit now he had like 22 a game.
Yeah, he's about 22 minutes per game.
He got like limited minutes. I don't know if it's limited because they fear about some kind of injury or something, or you know, did they just play him safe?
I think they're probably. I think they're. Oh, go ahead, Steph.
Oh no, I didn't. It wasn't me.
Oh, I thought somebody was saying something. I think they're probably, you know, kind of playing it safe a little bit. You know, trying to make sure that he's, you know, make sure he's healthy. Let me get to a phone call. All right, and get back to you guys. Caller, you live. What's popping?
I'm on right now?
Yeah, you on, man. What's popping with you?
All right, man. What we going to deal with, like, with the Knicks right now is that it's going to be a coaching issue with Tibbs. Like, his substitution is going to be a problem throughout the whole season. I was excited, you know what I mean, when I heard we was getting Derrick Rose, but I'm kind of scared now. Reason being is because of the game that we had today. Peyton, right? He should have been out. That fourth quarter. There was no reason for him to come back in the game. Tim's put it back, right?
Okay.
We tied. I think we tied the game when Obi had the dunk, had some momentum running. He took him out. Put Peyton in. They went back to the zone. When they went back to the zone, he ended up putting Emmanuel back. Probably like 3 minutes left. I'm starting to think that he owed Doc Rivers some type of like favor or something, because Austin Rivers, there's no reason why he should be like in the game whatsoever, especially when it comes down to defense.
Well, I mean, I don't know why he had Austin Rivers out there. You know, R.J. Barrett wasn't doing much. He did play better defense than R.J. Barrett, I'll tell you that. Today,
he played better defense than R.J. Barrett.
Today he did.
But if you pay attention, he did, right? But if you pay attention to the game, it's all coaching, right? So we don't have enough shooters. So they, you know, every time we do like a pick and roll or the double drag, they kept blitzing it. But we weren't looking for we didn't have any shooters on the court. That's why he ended up putting
I mean, we shot 42 3-point bad shots today. We made 16. That's 38%. So I mean, we were shooting it. We were shooting it.
That was Bullock. Bullock.
Yeah, Bullock had a number of them. Hold up. Right, Julius Randle shot 8. Julius Randle was 3 for 8. R.J. Barrett was 1 for 3. Alec Burks was 3 for 6. We had guys shooting the three ball today, and we shot it at 38%.
Hold on to that thought. When you look at everything with Peyton, right? He was missing them same bunnies that he was making, like you know, at the rim. He was missing those open shots. Tibb was forced to take him out. He didn't want to take him out.
Well, I mean, but that's what you do.
He should have been out the game.
I mean, but that's what you do. He said, okay, let me put him in here and see if what he could do. He didn't do it, so he took him out.
Exactly. I'm glad that you said that. But it's about when he took him out. He played the whole third quarter. He played the whole third quarter when he comes down to subs, right? This is exactly the same reason why I'm scared when Derrick Rose come through, because Emmanuel's not going to have that time. Every time the rookies make a mistake, he's quick to take them out. But when it comes down to the vets, he has that wiggle room for them, and they're able to make mistakes all the way up until it's grind time, no type of rhythm, bring them back in, and that's going to cost us games throughout the season. His substitution patterns.
I don't really think he's going to make some mistakes. For the most part, I think he's been pretty consistent with the way he's been subbing and who he's subbing and putting guys in decent times. You're gonna make some mistakes. Maybe he should have took Austin Rivers out and put Reggie Bullock in, or not brought Elfrid Payton back. But Derrick Rose will probably make those layups on a more consistent basis than Elfrid Payton. That's the reason why they're bringing Derrick Rose in. Emmanuel Quickly, let's be honest. Emmanuel Quickly,
you're going to be losing that.
Listen, Emmanuel Quickly didn't look great today. Emmanuel Quickly didn't look great today. He was a little bit flustered with it. He was flustered with that trap. His defense was not good. Right? So it's not his like defense, it's not yes, his defense was not good today. You know what I'm saying? I seen Kendrick Nunn take him straight to the post and reverse layup on him. No resistance.
I seen that in the second quarter.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's not like Emmanuel Quickly was out there doing something where you had to say, keep him in the game because he's cooking.
No, it's not like he's cooking, right? However, when they do that blitz, right? I'm talking about like with the pick and roll. You have shooters on the court, so you're able to spread it. You're able to spread the offense more. You're not able to do that with Payton. They'll live with that wide open shot with Payton.
But listen, Emmanuel Quickly was 0 for 2. He was out there, had his chance to shoot. He was 0 for 2. I'm not blaming anything on Emmanuel Quickly, right? But you had guys. No. We had guys out there to spread the floor today. That really isn't the issue, bro. That wasn't the issue, spreading the floor and knocking down three-point baskets wasn't the issue. Again, we shot 42 three-point shots. 42 times we shot the three. We shot it at 38%. That was not the issue. I'm not as worried about the rotation. I'm not as worried about Emmanuel Quickly's playing time as most people are. I think Emmanuel Quickly is going to continue to play the same way that he's been playing. I don't think his minutes are going to go down or up, or it's going to be based on who's doing what. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah, I'm about to get off now, but I just wanted you to
head off too. So.
Yeah, but I just wanted you to know that when Rose was with Tibbs in Minnesota, he only played nine games in the 2017 season because he was traded from Cleveland. He only averaged 12.4 minutes, but in the 17-18 season, he averaged 27.3 minutes.
27 minutes.
27 minutes, pretty much. So, and right now he's averaging 22 minutes.
Right. So
23.
Do you think those minutes go up here in New York? Does it go up to 27, 25, 27?
Knowing Tibbs, probably will. But the thing about it was, I don't think there'll be empty minutes or empty stats because he's always making something happen. So, I think it'll be a positive for us.
All right. Let me get to a phone call here.
Take care, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Enjoy the game.
And yes, game is about to start in about an hour or so. Caller, you're live. What's popping?
Hey, man. What's popping, man?
I'm good, man.
This is my first time, checking you guys out. But I just went on YouTube to check out like what people say about D Rose, man, going to the Knicks.
Welcome.
That's going to be a good trade.
Yeah.
D Rose, you know how to find the open player. As a point guard, he can find you. If you're in the right place, he'll find you. He ain't selfish. He'll get you that rock. He got the mid-range. He could get to the rim. He could finish. He going to make that team better. He going to make all those players on that team better. You see Julius Randle?
Mm-hmm.
He going to give him the ball where he needs the ball at to make a move and score the ball. You know what I'm saying? And he also going to be the player that you could pass it to him, and hopefully, you know, he could get that bailout shot when you need that bailout shot. He could still do that.
Right.
D Rose, and plus he's playing with Tibbs. That most likely that's the reason why he went to the Knicks. I'm sure Tibbs ain't gonna take him because Tibbs want to win too. You know what I'm saying? Tibbs not there to waste his time either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they had communication. You know, bringing D Rose, they know how to rock it together. They still got Taj Gibson there, but they need a player like D Rose. He's a veteran in the game. He want to win. You know what I'm saying? But he's not a greedy player. He's not going to keep the ball away from the rookies, and you know what I'm saying, and not let them grow on the team too. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make that Knicks team better. That's what they needed.
I agree with you 100%, man. I think that he's definitely going to make the team better, man. And I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate the call, man.
Definitely. No doubt.
Appreciate
no
you.
Doubt.
Thank you for checking us out.
You already know, man. I'm going to check you out more often, too.
No doubt. Appreciate that.
No. All right, man. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I go live. Look, I'm going to go around, try to get everybody's last words. We about to head out of here. I know people want to get themselves ready, get yourself together for the game. If you just joined us, you should know by now the Knicks have acquired Derrick Rose through trade from the Detroit Pistons. And, you know, there's going to be a lot of discussion, you know, all week long on, you know, how he's going to fit with the roster, this and that. Big shout out to Ian Clark. He came at Josh. He said if someone goes in and out of the chat more than 3 times, they should be suspended for 24 hours. That's an idea. That's a thought. That's a thought. Boulevard 73, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Joshua O'Cran, he said, shout out to the family. D Rose is going to get us right. He said, RJ's 20. He's got time. Knicks have really positioned themselves nicely. I'm super content with the team. I agree. I think the Knicks have definitely positioned themselves right. And, you know, we have Rose. If we can get one more guy, even if it's one more guy that can help us really get buckets, you know, we could be set up to do something nice. Yeah, Joshua, somebody came at you in the super chat. And then Sherrod Tucker said, I love the Rose move. That's instant offense, whether he's starting or coming off the bench. Bottom line, that's it right there. That's offense. Starting, coming off the bench, that's offense. And when it's coming down the stretch, Rose is probably going to be out there on the floor too. You know what I mean? So.
What they say in the super chat. Hold on, I'm sorry, I had to check on these wings.
Huh?
My bad.
Exactly. You had to check on the wings. He said if someone goes in and out of the chat 3 times, suspend them for 24 hours.
I see it. RJ is 20 years old. Give him time. All of that. Yeah, I'm giving him time. Yeah. I'm giving him all the time in the world. I'm very, very patient, and my patience is running thin. But I'm very, very, very patient with RJ Barrett. My thing is, in order for the Knicks to be successful or be that good playoff team that we want them to be, he needs to step up. And big games like today against a Eastern Conference, you know, powerhouse, I would say, you know, we need RJ Barrett to step up. Tonight he didn't do that, and I'm just calling it accordingly. He is going to get better. He's going to be a great player. Don't get me wrong. But the Knicks need him to be that, you know, especially on this current roster, we need him to be that. And right now, or at least today, he wasn't that kind of player. So that's all I'm saying. I think RJ Barrett's going to be great. I don't want to trade him. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to put him in the G League. I don't want to, you know, but he needs to be better. 6 shots not going to cut it.
Yeah. Somebody asked who did we trade for Derrick Rose? We trade Dennis Smith Jr. in the 2nd round pick for Derrick Rose. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to hear what Derrick Rose has to say. I want to hear what Tom Thibodeau and everybody has to say when they can finally talk about it. You know, so maybe tomorrow, you know, we can hear what they got to say. Last thing, go ahead, Isaiah. We're gonna start off doing you know, just give me your last words and we're gonna get up out of here. Go ahead, man.
I gotta go now because I gotta go shovel before the game starts. I just want to say appreciate everybody here. Euro, good to see you, Andy, my main brother, White Chocolate, Josh, you know, my boy, Queen Steph, Divine, Godfather Sim, Big Bro. Listen, me and Guillermo, the 3BL's coming back. 3BL's coming back. We'll be on Monday. We're going to be doing our episode. We're going to be recapping the Super Bowl, what we've seen. And then we're going to be talking about the Giants. You know, the big brother. We run the show. We run New York. And then we're going to be talking about the little brother with Guillermo. He can talk about his sorry-ass Jets and who they want to pick and, who the Giants are going to pick. It's going to be a really good show. Like I said, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl for the first half of the show, and then we're going to talk about the Giants and the Jets and who do you guys want to pick. Anybody's welcome. I know Kev likes the Steelers for some reason, but if you guys want to come on, please, we're going to be on at 8:30 tomorrow. It's going to be a real good show. 3BL, we are back.
All right, you got to
left.
shovel, man. You got to shovel. There's more snow coming down. You got to get out there and get the snow up. Just give me a prediction for the game. You're going on too long.
All right, so Tom Brady will get number 7.
All you got to do is give me the score. Just predict the score. We don't need a whole soliloquy.
Bucks 35, Kansas City 27. Kansas Chiefs 27.
All right, the Kansas Chiefs 27.
All right, y'all. Have fun tonight.
All right, be safe out there. Josh?
Yeah, I mean, final words for, the Knicks. Obviously, I would want them to pull this game out. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Everyone knows what I expect out of RJ Barrett. And, I think he definitely will get there. I expect the Knicks to come out on Tuesday and play much better and to adjust. Tibbs is a really good, second game coach, being able to adjust and make those adjustments for the team to be successful. So come Tuesday, I expect the Knicks to play better, and I think they will win on Tuesday. And 31-10 Kansas City. I think it's going to be a blowout just like Seattle and Denver with Peyton Manning a few years ago back in Giant Stadium. So Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, that's a bad dude.
Okay. All right. I actually think Tom Brady's getting another ring, but
no.
I think Tom Brady might be getting another ring, man. Steph, some last words, predictions on the game?
Yep. Shout out to you, Sim, the chat, the panel. Big ups to Josh, man. Listen, we both feel the same way about RJ. The only thing I'm saying is we counting on him too soon. You saying in order for us to be who we need to be, he has to show up right now. What I'm saying is that's too much responsibility in his second year. And we need to get somebody right now to man that second spot and allow RJ to grow into that position. That's all I'm saying. But I do know that you believe in him, have high expectations of him. So do I. I just think we asking too much right now. As far as the Super Bowl, Brady. I mean, look at this guy. Patriots didn't even make the playoffs. This guy goes to Tampa Bay and they in the Super Bowl. I don't know what the score is going to be, but Tampa Bay is winning this game.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Andy?
I'm really surprised because it's the end of the show and I didn't hear anyone, say a bad word about Alfred Payton or anyone else except RJ. I'm surprised like that.
It was in the chat, Andy. It was all through the chat.
You know that.
Yeah, but to be true, I think we can't blame the whole game on RJ this time. All of the guards played subpar games. We could, blame a little bit on Tibbs. Probably, he was probably testing the rotation in the fourth quarter. I might do it a little bit, other way, but it's easy to say it after the game, right? So it's easy, right? What if Rivers would hit a 3 or 2, right? That would be a different story. But I think it was a team effort when we win, and it's a team effort when we lose, unless it's like a bunny and a last second shot. So and with the Super Bowl, I think if I had to bet money, I think I go with Brady.
Shame on y'all. Shame on all of y'all.
I mean, listen, Brady is my arch nemesis, but I think he's gonna get it. I think he's gonna get it tonight. I think he's gonna get it. Eru, and I'm a Giants fan, but I still think he's gonna get it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I'm a Giants fan, so I want to see Uncle Folio's shirt again. Flash that shirt, the Giants. If the Giants were playing, I would have the Giants against my man Tom Brady. But as far as the Knicks, man, like Steph shouted me out a little earlier with the decisiveness, man, the not being afraid, because that caller pissed me off. He had me kind of like a little anxious a little bit, talking about, well, I'm afraid that Tom Thibodeau is going to do this. I'm so afraid. Like, the Knicks fans drive me crazy with that, because it's like, listen, like last year we had the same roster, just about, we were like 3 wins, and we're like whatever losses that we have. Now we made this thing. Now we're at the cusp of the playoffs and stuff like that. And now we're still talking about, well, I'm afraid that he's going to take this guy out. We got Rose now, and I'm afraid this guy. We need to get off that, because Tom Thibodeau's not on it. We're trying to find some guys that are not afraid to play basketball. We got to stop being afraid to be Knicks fans as well. And I think with Derrick Rose, I think he's going to come in there, and we're going to utilize the fact that he's not afraid. He's not afraid to get into the paint, not afraid to take that jump shot. He's not afraid to square himself up and make take a consistent jump shot. So that's one thing I would like to say. And just going forward, this is not the end. Like, everyone just thinks like, oh, now we got Derrick Rose. What are we gonna do now? This is not the end. We're building a beautiful picture here. Painting a beautiful picture as far as the team is concerned. So this is not the end. We still have all of our chips. We got rid of Dennis Smith Jr. that we don't care about. We got rid of a 2nd-round draft pick that we don't care about. So what is the issue? The next thing is, we got to find that next guy that we're going to put in there to get these guys help. Because, how hard we are on RJ, it's deserved, because we have these expectations. We need these guys to be ready to get out there and play, and not be afraid, because, we're not afraid. Tom Thibodeau's not afraid. We want these guys to get out there and play, man. So, there's a game today, so I want my man Divine to get some time.
Die Hard, always good. Listen to your knowledge, brother. So I ain't rushing. You know me. I know I run my mouth a lot as well, so it's good. Hey, man, you know what? I like the way the Knicks played today. First and foremost, they were playing with playoff passion today. Them cats was going at each other. That's what I think a lot of us Knicks fans got to understand. This ain't the old Knicks. Tom Thibodeau ain't that old coach. If you can't go hard, go home. That's just Tom Thibodeau. Go hard or go home. You ain't, and no disrespect to Knox and Frank and all them. Tom Thibodeau coming in there to win, dog. He ain't coming in there just to be having pity for people. He trying to win. And that game today showed me that was playoff basketball intensity, and that's what he won. Man, you know what? And I just think that the Knicks is on the right track. I agree with Edie 100%. We got cap space still this year. We only spent $2 million on Derrick Rose. We still got $15 million. Right. We got picks. We in a good spot. Our team's playing hard. We in the playoff race. Fans, chill out. This is a beautiful thing you're watching right now. You know what I mean? Right. Enjoy this moment. But for the Super Bowl, the only reason I'm going with Tom Brady and my daughter, my grandkid, they live in Tampa. So I know they dying for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
I got to root for them today because I know my grandkids and my daughter in the morning, and they playing in Tampa. And I think Jason Pierre-Paul and them in that front line, they going to make a hard on my man from the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, the dog. Don't get me wrong, they good. But they just not playing no scrub neither, and you got the GOAT over there. Like I said, we beat him 2 times. We beat him in the Super Bowl 2 times, and the only losses he got, that's the only one he might have, because he might win today.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? But peace to the family, man. Peace to the panel.
I appreciate you guys. And big shout out to Skull 6 Trade. He said, great show. I'm already hooked. Thank you for the super chat. Hopefully you come back, Skull. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I'm live. Hit that like button. And before I get out of here, just want to remind you to get the NBK app on Wix, ladies and gentlemen. Get the app so we can communicate. Right? I'm putting the link in the YouTube chat. I'm going to pin it to the top of the screen. And, go get the app. All right?
Real quick on the plug.
Go ahead.
Yeah, still allowing Knicks Real Talk to come on after his show, after the post game. So we want to continue the conversation. Okay. We just move over to KRT Knicks Real Talk. We keep the same chat going, and just keep the same energy going. But thanks to NBK, he's gonna allow me to go in there, drop my link in there to move over to him and send. I appreciate that, because I think it'd be fun for our community, because we all in. We're not ready to go right now, but sometimes we gotta go and Sim gotta go. So you know what? We just move on over to my channel. We just continue the channel, continue the pack, continue the panel, have some fun, man. So next week, not today because the Super Bowl today, but maybe next week I'll link in after the chat, drop the link in the chat, so then we go over to my channel. Y'all still want to be on after that, man. So
Definitely.
Sounds good.
So please make sure you go get that NBK app on Wix. Look out for Eru when he has links, when Divine has links. We'll be popping them in the chat. And when you get that NBK app on Wix, make sure that you follow, because all of the followers are going to be entered into a contest to win an Obi Toppin rookie card. There's 2 Obi Toppin rookie cards available. So make sure that you get the app so that you can be entered into the contest. As soon as we get to 500 followers, it was going to be 1,000. As soon as we get to 500, we're going to start calling out the winners of that contest. So make sure that you go do that right now, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate all of you. Enjoy the game. And as usual, ladies and gentlemen, spread love. Out of here.